think a lot of us are feeling, that nagging sense that saving money, it just feels kind of useless. So let me just ask you straight up, because this really gets to the core of it all. You're working hard, right? You're trying to put some money away, but does it ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels going absolutely nowhere? I mean, you're doing all the right things, all the responsible stuff. You're looking at your budget, you're finding places to cut back, making those tough, disciplined choices every single day. You know, that trip you wanted to take, that new phone, even just going out for dinner with your friends. You're putting all that on the back burner. You're making real sacrifices because you believe, you hope, it's all going to pay off eventually. And then what happens? After all that work, you look up and bam, the price of everything just keeps going up and up. It feels like you're on a treadmill, running as fast as you can, but not getting anywhere. And honestly, that feeling is just so defeating. You know, the real reason this is so frustrating comes down to this really simple mind game. What's visible versus what's invisible. Inflation, oh, that's visible. It's screaming at you from the grocery aisle and the gas station. But compounding, that quiet secret weapon that's supposed to grow your money, it's practically a ghost. You can't see it, especially in the beginning. Okay, so let's dig into that visible enemy for a second, inflation. Because I want to be super clear, this isn't just you feeling hopeless. It's a cold, hard, mathematical fact. In the world we live in right now, if you're standing still with your money, you are actually moving backward. Period. And look, this isn't just happening in one place. It doesn't matter if you're in the US, India, or somewhere in Europe. It's the same story everywhere. The cost of the absolute basics, we're talking rent, groceries, fuel, education, it's all just shot up. So when your bills are climbing way faster than your paycheck, of course saving feels pointless. It's simple math. Now here's the real kicker. Inflation isn't just a one-and-done price hike. No way. It actually compounds, just like your investments are supposed to. So that 5% price jump this year, that's the new starting line for next year's price jump. It's this relentless force that's actively working, day in and day out, to eat away at the value of every single dollar you've managed to save. Want to see how scary that is? Let's put some numbers on it. At an average inflation rate of just 5%, prices for everything will pretty much double in about 15 years. Just let that sink in for a second. The money sitting in your bank account today, in 15 years, it's going to buy half of what it does now. So just hoarding cash, that's a guaranteed way to lose. Okay, this leads us to probably the single most important mindset shift you can possibly make. Whenever you feel that discouragement creeping in, you have to remember this. The big mistake isn't saving a small amount. The truly disastrous mistake is stopping altogether. All right, enough doom and gloom about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. It's time to pull back the curtain on that invisible engine I mentioned, the one that's designed to work for you. This is your powerful counterpunch to inflation. Compounding. Okay, pay close attention, because this is where the magic happens. Let's imagine you invest just $200 a month. Not a crazy amount. And you get a pretty standard 8% return over time. After 10 years, you're at around $36,000. Not bad, right? But just watch. After 20 years, you're not at $72,000. No, you're at $118,000. And after 30 years, it's not $90,000. It absolutely explodes to almost $300,000. Did you catch that? The growth you get in the first decade is nothing. I mean, nothing compared to the growth in the last one. That is the secret sauce of compounding. It's like a giant rocket ship. It takes forever to get off the launch pad. It feels super slow. But once it hits the upper atmosphere, man, the acceleration is just breathtaking. The life-changing growth happens after you've proven you can be patient. So that begs a huge question, right? If the math is so undeniable, why do so many people fail to see it through? Well, the answer isn't in a spreadsheet. It's between our ears. The single biggest roadblock is our own brain, our psychology, and our total lack of patience. And these are the classic traps we all face. You start investing, and the returns look laughably small. Then the market takes a dive, and it's terrifying. Meanwhile, the pain of paying more for gas today feels way more real than some far-off invisible investment gain. And to top it all off, you scroll through social media and see everyone else supposedly getting rich overnight, which makes your sensible, slow approach feel, well, kind of dumb. So let's just boil it all down to one hard truth. Compounding plays by one simple rule. It rewards you for sticking with it, and it absolutely crushes you for being impatient. Bailing out in those first few years when it feels like a total waste of time, That's the number one reason people never actually build real wealth. Okay, so what do we do with all this? How do we actually turn this into a strategy that works? It all starts with a shift in your thinking, a shift from playing defense with your money to playing offense. Here's the best way to think about it. Just saving money, like putting it in a savings account, that's playing defense. And defense is important. You need it for emergencies to keep your money safe and easy to get to, but it's not going to score you any points. Investing, that's your offense. That's the part of your strategy designed to actually grow your money and, most importantly, beat inflation at its own game. And if we're talking about the long game, well, it's not even a fair fight. Plain-only defense is a guaranteed loss against a monster like compounding inflation. If you want to build actual wealth, if you want to secure your financial future, you have got to play offense. You need your money out on the field working for you. Look, if you forget everything else I've said, please remember this one thing. Math doesn't care about your feelings. The market couldn't care less if you're scared or excited. Compounding only has respect for one thing and one thing only: your consistency. Your ability to just keep showing up year in and year out. So really, it all comes down to a choice we face every single day. On one side, you've got inflation. That's the default setting. It's like an invisible tax that's always on, always working against you, even if you do nothing. But on the other side, you've got compounding growth. And that one requires a conscious choice. It takes the discipline to get started and the grit to see it through. At the end of the day, you're the one in the driver's seat. You have one force that will happily chip away at your future without you lifting a finger, and you have another that will build that future, but only if you choose it. So the real question is, which force are you going